Right now, you feel like you are sitting still. You are not. You are spinning at over 1,000 kilometers an hour on a planet hurtling around a star at over 100,000 kilometers an hour. And yet the clock on your wall ticks forward at exactly the same steady pace it always has. Or does it? Here is the strange part. The time you are experiencing right now is not the same time experienced by someone in a plane above you. It is not the same time experienced by someone standing on a mountain. Somewhere on Earth, right now, a person is aging very slightly faster than you. Somewhere else, a person is aging very slightly slower. This sounds impossible. It is not. Time is not what you think it is. It is not a river flowing at one universal speed for everyone. It is something far stranger and far more personal. In 1905, a young patent clerk named Albert Einstein proposed something that broke the intuitive picture of time completely. Before Einstein, time was assumed to be absolute. A second in London was a second in Tokyo, was a second on the moon. Isaac Newton had built an entire framework of physics on this assumption, and for 200 years, nobody seriously questioned it. Einstein questioned it. He realized that the speed of light is the same for every observer, no matter how fast they are moving. But if the speed of light never changes, something else has to give, and that something is time itself. This is called time dilation. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time, relative to someone standing still. Not as an illusion, not as a trick of perception, actually physically slower. Astronauts on the International Space Station experience this every single day. They orbit the Earth at roughly 28,000 kilometers per hour. Because of that speed, their clocks run slightly slower than clocks on Earth. Over a 6-month mission, an astronaut returns home having aged a few milliseconds less than everyone who stayed behind. A few milliseconds does not sound like much, but the effect is real, measured, and confirmed thousands of times over. Gravity does something similar. The stronger the gravitational pull, the slower time moves. A clock at sea level ticks slightly slower than a clock on a mountaintop, because sea level sits deeper in Earth's gravitational well. GPS satellites have to correct for this every day. Their clocks run faster than clocks on the ground, because they orbit far from Earth's gravity. Without correcting for that difference, GPS systems would drift off by kilometers within hours. So the phone in your pocket is quietly doing relativistic physics just to tell you where you are. Which raises the obvious question. If time bends and stretches depending on speed and gravity, what is it actually made of? What is the thing that is bending? This is where physics gets uncomfortable, because the honest answer is that nobody fully knows. But there is a clue, and it comes from a completely different branch of science. That clue is called entropy. Entropy is a measure of disorder. Not disorder like a messy room, but disorder in the number of ways a system can be arranged. A shuffled deck of cards has far more possible disordered arrangements than ordered ones. That is why, if you shuffle a deck, it almost never comes out in perfect order. Not because order is forbidden, because there are astronomically more ways to be disordered than ordered. The astrophysicist Arthur Eddington was among the first to notice something profound buried inside this idea. He called entropy the arrow of time. In nearly every law of physics, time could run forward or backward, and the math would still work. Drop a ball, and the equations describing its fall work just as well in reverse. But entropy only moves one direction. It increases. Always. This is the second law of thermodynamics, and it is one of the only laws in physics that seems to know the difference between past and future. Ice melts into water. Water never spontaneously refreezes into the exact same ice cube on its own. Coffee cools down in a room. It never spontaneously heats itself back up. Every one of these processes is entropy increasing, disorder spreading out, and it is why you can tell, just by watching a video, whether it is playing forward or backward. In other words, The reason time seems to move in one direction, the reason yesterday is fixed and tomorrow is open, might not come from some deep cosmic clock at all. It might simply be the universe sliding toward disorder, one collision at a time. Time's arrow, some physicists argue, is really entropy's arrow wearing a disguise. But here is where it gets personal. Because your own experience of time does something even stranger than physics predicts. It does not just move forward, it speeds up. Think back to a summer when you were 7 years old. It probably felt endless. Now think about last year. It probably felt like it lasted about 10 minutes. Why? In 2019, the mechanical engineer Adrian Bijan published a study proposing a physical explanation for this. He argued that your brain processes visual information more slowly as you age. When you are young, your neural pathways are new, and your brain processes more distinct mental images per second. Each of those images becomes a memory marker. More markers per hour makes that hour feel longer when you look back on it. As you get older, the physical pathways in your brain become more complex, and processing slows down. Fewer new images, fewer new markers. The same 24 hours produces a thinner slice of memory, and a thinner slice of memory feels shorter in hindsight. The neuroscientist David Eagleman has studied a related piece of this puzzle. His research on time perception found that fear and novelty can dramatically alter how dense your memory recording becomes. In a genuine emergency, like a car accident, people often report that time seemed to slow down. Eagleman's experiments suggest this is not literal slow motion. It is your brain laying down memories at an unusually high resolution because the moment is unfamiliar and urgent. Afterward, when you replay it, the sheer density of detail makes it feel like it lasted far longer than it did. This is the same mechanism working in reverse as you age. Childhood is packed with firsts. First day of school. First heartbreak. First time driving a car. Each first demands your brain's full attention and gets recorded in rich detail. Adulthood is packed with repeats. The same commute. The same grocery store. The same 50 minutes of a meeting that could have been an email. Your brain, sensing nothing new to record, compresses it. Less detail. Less footage. A shorter memory of a day that, by the clock, was exactly as long as any other. So time dilates for astronauts because of speed and gravity. And time dilates for you, right now, based on how much new information your brain decides is worth keeping. Which means the years are not actually accelerating. Nothing about the physical universe is speeding up around you. What is shrinking is the density of your attention. You are not running out of time. You are running out of novelty. And that changes what the question, "What is time?" actually means. Physics can tell you that time is relative, that it bends near mass and speed, that its direction is tied to entropy spreading through the universe. But your own felt experience of time is not physics at all. It is memory. It is attention. It is how many distinct moments your brain judged worth keeping, which means, in a strange way, you have some control over it. Not over the clock on the wall, over the density of what fills it. A new city, a new skill, a conversation with a stranger instead of a scroll through a feed. Each one forces your brain to pay attention again, to lay down a sharper memory, to make an ordinary Tuesday feel like it actually happened. So the next time you feel a year slipping past faster than the one before it, remember what is really happening. The universe has not sped up. Entropy has not accelerated. You have simply stopped handing your brain anything new to remember. And right now, reading this sentence, you are sitting still. You are not. If this changed how you think about time, subscribe. There's a new one of these every week, and every single one is a chance to lay down a memory worth keeping.